Boom, we are here, Attitude Era Podcast. We have probably one of the most legendary episodes ever. Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. Now, I was going to come right out and challenge you to an arm wrestling match, but I don't want none of that smoke.
I don't want your blood all over my clothes.
Absolutely. So we'll get right into the questions. My first question for you, one of my favorite promos ever. You pretended to retire just so you could beat up John Cena. What went into that?
You know what, man? Like during that time, my contract was expiring, and I was thinking about taking a break. And so I went probably about 6-8 months, basically really preparing myself for retirement. So it was like, 50-50.
Right.
And then Vince talked to me and said, you know what, I think this would be a really good time to really pull the wool over people out there. Everybody think you're going to retire. You won't resign. Like, what's the deal? Is it more money or this or that? I said, no. It's like, it's not the money. I just want to go home. When you're on the road for 18 years.
Right.
And I was missing stuff seeing my kids grow up.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, man, I'm done. I made enough money. Let me go and, be the dad that I always wanted to be.
Right.
And it ended up, Vince talked me into it. And all of that emotion and the reality of it was true.
Right.
It's just that I ended up putting it into the show. So it ended up being one of the best moments in pro wrestling history. I had people calling me. I didn't even know how they got my phone number. Hulk Hogan called me. I was like, how in the hell did you get my number? And he was like, look, you pull the wool over my eyes. And it's been a long time since that happened. You should be proud. And I was proud.
I agree. It is very rare that you get surprises in wrestling now, which I thought that was a genuine one. And you said how you've been in wrestling for so long. I wanted to kind of bring it back. One of our favorite characters we've talked about on the show, Sexual Chocolate, the OG.
The best ever.
And what was the origin of that character? What went into making it?
Well, during the Attitude Era, you had to do stuff that got people attention.
Right.
Because otherwise, nobody would notice you on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And there were people that wrestled that people don't remember them because they didn't do nothing that was memorable.
Mm-hmm.
I had just watched Coming to America, and I love the band. This is my band, this is my band, Sex with Chocolate. And then he started stumbling, Sex with Chocolate. And I was like, man, I love that. It made me laugh, it made me smile. And I was like, I'm going to do a character. And I thought it was going to be like a band.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was going to have other people in my group. And
right.
And it just, the more I thought about it, the more I talked about it with people that mattered to me, they was like, man, you got to do something that's close to your personality. And during that time, I thought every woman in the world loved a little chocolate. So, that's when I proposed the character. I said, I don't care about winning and losing. It's the fact that I want to get the girl.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be distracted. So when I lose, it don't matter.
Right.
And everybody loved that character, man. I only did that character for 2.5 years.
Right.
But here we are, 25 years later, and we still talking about it.
That's right. And the Attitude Era was such a defining moment in wrestling. Do you have a favorite Attitude Era moment?
I think when Stone Cold was beating us up, me and D-Lo, and he stunned me on the floor and then stunned me again on the stage, and he gave D-Lo a backdrop,
right,
and he landed on a car, on a truck.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was just like, man, we just had a moment with Steve Austin.
Yeah.
It was like a lot of people don't look at the greats, the people that you would consider to be the top 10 wrestlers of all time, to have moments with them, to connect your career with theirs. That was me and D-Lo's, and we both loved it.
Incredible. Also, another big moment for Mark Henry, the Nation of Domination. What's it like being part of one of the biggest stables of that time?
Man.
Historic.
If you look, everybody in the nation, everybody became somebody after they left the nation. It was a lot of really great individual wrestlers in that faction. And The Rock and Ron Simmons, like, they speak for themselves, but we would want to know how can you live up? And, you know, D'Lo and I as a tag, we just thought, you know what, man, like, if we gonna be like Ron and Rock, we gotta like separate and make that move. And I became the world's strongest man again. D'Lo had the head shake and the chest protector, and like Godfather went on to become the Godfather rather than Kama. And like everybody made a good living and you'll never forget the Godfather character, ever. And you'll never forget what I did. You'll never forget what Ron Simmons did, and The Rock, and D'Lo, and man, like D'Lo should be in the Hall of Fame. Like he was in a real important time in history that he's not getting credit for. I mean, like he made the Intercontinental title mean something again. Like it was suffering before D'Lo. So yeah, man, it was the Attitude Era in the nation was important.
Absolutely. And speaking of the nation, real quick, you guys had two leaders. I mean, was one a little better than the other? Who was the better leader, Farouk or The Rock?
Now, if you ask Ron, he'll say, "Of course, I was the better leader." And then if you ask Dwayne, he would say, "Oh, I'm the most talented. I was the top 5 wrestler, top 10 wrestler of all time. I was the best." If you ask everybody in the nation, nobody gives a damn. Because we all were looking at both of them like, really? Y'all gonna argue and fight over this? You know, so it was pretty cool.
Amazing. And another huge moment of the Attitude Era that, again, people always go back to. I gotta salute you. You got one of the baddest girls around, Mae Young. What was that storyline like that led to you having a hand? What was that?
Man, Sex with Chocolate was fun, man. And to have that interaction with Mae, it did so much for my career because it made people give a damn about you. And we had a lot of fun traveling on the road. A constant professional and underrated as far as her toughness and underrated as far as her comedic skills, because even though she was old, she really didn't act like an old person. And when the camera started rolling, she acted like an old person. Like, people don't realize that. Like, she could move so much better and talk so much clearer, and she was portraying the character of an old woman and killed it. And I'm blessed to have had that interaction because it made my character mean more.
And what was the hand? What was like, why did you guys have a hand?
They gave me a hand.
We finally, I can't tell you how long I've been
You've been waiting, huh?
I've been waiting on that one. Well, I want to get into a little bit of modern day. My first question is with modern day AEW, WWE. We've seen you go back and forth between both. Do you have any comparisons? Like, I don't want to say which one's better.
I never went back and forth. I left the company after I retired. I wanted to be more on the executive side. They wouldn't hire me on the executive side. I didn't have enough experience or the technical education. And going to AEW proved that I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was helping other people at WWE with their jobs.
Right.
People were like, "Hey man, can you help me with this?" I was always helping. When it came to scouting, I could see something and go, "That's not right. Let's fix this, fix that," and then it was good. Or I saw people outside of wrestling. There's like 4 wrestlers that were at WWE and are at WWE that they were not a thought about wrestling. Braun Strowman, Bianca Belair, Apollo Crews, like Baron Corbin. There were people that I helped mentor and that I found in other sports and brought them to wrestling, and they became world champions. That's pretty damn impressive.
Amazing.
But it wasn't good enough because I was not the person that had the job title of a recruiter, or I just helped out.
Yeah.
I was just helping other people do their jobs, and I never got paid for it. So I wanted to get paid for that. I wanted to prove that I could do that. Now I'm at AEW. Jade Cargill, she was a basketball player. She's one of mine. I pulled her in, and now she's 50-plus wins in a row, haven't lost yet, striking personality, great talent. Like, I know what I'm doing, and somebody's going to pay for it. I'm not doing it for free.
Amazing. Last two questions, because I know you got to get out of here. Do you have a dream? You're so accomplished. You've done so much. Do you have a match that maybe has eluded you that you've never got to? A dream match?
No, I have no regrets or misses in wrestling. The things I think about now is the things like yesterday. Yesterday I went over to Tipton, the academy in Brooklyn, and spoke to the wrestling club at the school in their after-school program. Man, it made me I felt good. I felt special because those kids, they really love wrestling, and they appreciated me just for being me. I haven't wrestled a match since 2018, and I walked in there and it was like, I don't know, man, you'd have to be one of the top 5 elite wrestlers in the world to get the reaction that I got. And, it's just like, I know where my blessings are. I got to do more for young African-American wrestlers, not just to be talents. I want them to learn to be camera people. I want them to be lighting technicians. I want them to be crew supervisors. I want them to be able to be bookers and agents, like the office positions. So, like, I got a lot of work to do.
My last question for you. We're in WrestleMania season. You warned someone once that you still got a lot left. That person is in the main event, Roman Reigns. He's been champion for almost 1,000 days. First of all, when you warn someone, that's a warning you should take seriously. But I wanted to get some quick predictions. Do you think Cody Rhodes, who came from AEW, is going to be able to do it? Is he going to dethrone Roman?
Man, I think Cody is going to pull it off. And as a fan of pro wrestling, I always think, who's got the most to lose? Roman has been champion for 1,000 days. If he loses, does that diminish him? No. If Cody loses, he goes from being at the top back to the middle, and all the people are in front of him. He got something to lose. I hope that he goes into that match like, man, I got something to lose. And if he does that, I think that he'll come out on top.
Any other matches from that night you're looking forward to?
You know what, man? I actually am curious to see how Brock Lesnar and Almost is going to be.
Interesting.
Like it's always one of those that when you see conflicts and styles, you want to see like how it's going to play out. I can't visualize how it's going to play out, so I want to see it.
Awesome. Well, Mark, I could talk to you for hours, man, but thank you so much for this absolutely legendary interview. Attitude Era Podcast, making history.